It's the Dave Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. This is Your Money, America. It's your show, America, and you are learning how to handle you and your money. That's what we do. The phone number here, if you want to talk, is 888-825-5225. And, of course, you can go online at DaveRamsey.com. Click on Dave's email. Keep your emails brief and to the point, and we do our best to answer them as a part of the show today. Gwen is on the line. Jeremy is on the line in Midland, Odessa, Texas to start this hour off. Hi, Jeremy. How are you?
Doing good. How are you, Dave?
Better than I deserve. What's up, sir?
Well, I got solved a little problem between me and my wife. Started a business about 2 years ago. Business is booming down here in Midland this year. I've been able to save up this year alone close to $70,000. Have about $80,000 in the bank, about $15,000 in my emergency fund. Debate is, me and my wife had made a goal to reach $140,000 to buy a home, flat out cash. Well, she's a little bit getting antsy. We still got a year to go. With business the way it is, I believe that we can meet that goal a little bit sooner. Right now, it's costing us about $7,000 to rent the house we're at. Brand new home, fits our needs. Of course, she wants to buy. I want to wait a year. She wants to go ahead and use the money we have and take a mortgage. And I've
now your original goal that you both agreed to was to save up the money.
Yes.
And exactly. her reason for changing the plan is what?
Needs more. She wants more room. We don't have a huge house. We're about.
Well, you're in the same. Wait a minute. You're in the same room you were in when she made the deal.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what I'm asking is, what is her basis for saying, okay, I agreed to this, but now I don't?
You're right. I really, her basis is just needs more room. That's all she can. I think we can do it. No small mortgage won't hurt. And I need to come outside my box and think of it, and I'm just almost willing to unbudge on taking a mortgage.
Well, I think there's a couple things on the issue here. Number one is you're very, very close to being able to just write a check and buy the house.
Yes, sir.
And so really what we're arguing about is a few months.
Yes, sir.
And I think we need to sit down and look at how many months we're arguing about. And lay that out. Is it 18 months? Is it 8 months? Is it 4 months? Until you hit this mark. And, okay, honey, I get it. You're getting impatient. But really, we made a deal. And we set a bargain here. We set a goal in place. And nothing has really changed. There's no new information has changed other than I'm supposed to just respond because you stuck your lip out.
Exactly.
And, that's really not how we're going to play this. We're two adults. I'm not your father. I'm your husband. You're not my daughter. You're my wife. And so two adults have made a deal here, have set a goal. Now, if new information is on the table that wasn't there when the goal was agreed to, then we've got something to talk about.
Yeah.
If you had an extra child that you didn't have before, if you, something else happened here that was, crime 2 doors down in the house, somebody got shot, that's new information, right?
Yeah, you're right.
And then I would say, okay, well, there's something to talk about. So that's one big issue on the table here. Now, then the second thing is what would Dave Ramsey do? Well, Dave and Sharon would save up the money and we would pay for it. We wouldn't budge because we don't borrow money. Now, on this show, you've probably heard me say 100 times that I don't yell at someone for taking out a small mortgage that they pay off very quickly. Meaning that you start with the idea of a 15-year fixed rate mortgage or less.
Yes.
And so, that's where, and you certainly could take out a small mortgage and you could pay it off in a year. So it's really, what she's proposing is really not that big a deal. And honestly, and you're all on this call, it's you're really arguing about 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, really.
and, you know, by the time you find a house, and do you own the house you're in?
No, we're actually renting a house.
Okay, I mean, you got to give them notice. When's your lease up?
In February.
Well, you have to pay through February.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't just walk off from the lease.
You're right.
Okay, so let's start talking about what happens in February, how close we are. Now, are you really unwilling to wait 2 more months after February, darling? I mean, we're that close. It's not like we're asking her to wait 2 years.
Exactly.
Literally. So I think you need to sit down, and she's just getting impatient. She's tired of the little house. She's tired of the rental house. Sharon was the same way, Jeremy. We were living in this rental house. We lived there for 2 years after we went broke. She hated that house. And it wasn't a little house. It was a larger home, but it was old, and it needed to be updated on some things, and it was a nice place, but we were just in a bad mood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and she just, man, she'll tell you to this day how bad that house was. She hated that house. And so we had this exact conversation about 15 years ago when we hit the edge of that. And so, but the trick is, what is the holding pattern, and what is the amount of time we're actually talking about? Because you really cannot just walk away from this lease. You're there till February, and the numbers you're giving me, you're going to be able to pay cash for something by February, or so stinking close that it's not that big a deal. You know, if you borrow $10,000 or something, I mean, whoopee. I'm going to wait until I pay cash, period, because I do not borrow money. I do not bend on that. And I'm not telling you have to do that, but I just want to be consistent with what I live and what I say. Otherwise, you're what's known as a hypocrite. So, but I think she needs to be, I think it's okay for you to call her and to, hey, you know, we made a deal here, and is there something I'm missing that's changed in our deal? Maybe there's something you don't know about that's really bothering her. I mean, if you go and buy crap, maybe you went and bought a $2,000 hunting rifle or something. Well, that set her off because that kept her from getting the house that much sooner. Then, that's different information. And you need to be real careful that you're playing by these same rules and you're doing everything you can to get this goal hit. But this was the game plan you all laid out, and I think you should stick with it. That's what I think. But I think you need to hear her in the process of sticking with it, not just put your foot down and go, I'm not going to budge. I mean, there needs to be a discussion about the not budging and how and why and where we're going and what this process is. Because it's not an unreasonable thing, what you're proposing here. It's really not. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.